Welcome back from that break. It's Good Morning Abuja, yes, where we bring you trending issues that will take us to the next level as a people. Now, I have someone you definitely want to listen to. You hear about AI everywhere, artificial intelligence, robotics, and all of those stuffs. And some school of thoughts are like, is this healthy for us as a nation? Are we going too fast? Is this going to be a challenge in the future? All of these concerns and more, my guest is going to talk about. Now, who do I have in the studio? I have Jesse Upe Usman. He's an ICT expert. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right, good morning. So, talking about the future of artificial intelligence, what do you think? What is the concept of this AI? And what is expected? How is it expected to shape the future?
Okay, artificial intelligence basically is it's a technology that allows computers to process data, handle highly classified, highly complex data problems for business, and also to create business-related solutions as well. Now, artificial intelligence it's a technology that will help computers to do those things those high-level reasonings that human beings were capable of before now. Okay, and like I said, part of them is to process data, part of them is to predict patterns, part of them is to forecast, part of them is to solve problems, deep mind problems that human beings were known to have solved before now. Artificial intelligence has been with us for quite some decades now. I think from the works of McCarthy, it has been here since the 1950s, and it has been developing fast since then. And since we had people playing video games with computers, they have changed the landscape, and they have as well brought forth the future. And with the authority I have, I can tell you we're already living in the future. Okay. So the future is not a distant time from now. Okay. Artificial intelligence has come into the workplace. Artificial intelligence has come into our labor wards, into our medical theaters, and into every walk of life. And we are currently living what we thought would be the future. So a lot has changed because computers now are taking the center stage. Computers now are working in synergy with our professionals, with our experts, our analysts, to do quite a lot. Even in the business arena, business analysis currently is being done 70% by computer systems. Okay. All right, and that's where we are reaping the harvest of artificial intelligence beforehand. So you see that the future is such that we're working either in synergy with computers, or we bequeath some of those functions that humans carry out to computers completely.
Okay.
So that's the future.
Okay. So I'm glad that at least we are developing, we're evolving over time.
Yes,
and when you were talking, you spoke about all the things that these computers are doing. Yes. We have always been able to do it. Yes. So why now do we need all these computers? Do you see it becoming a challenge? Do you see it outspacing us?
Okay. Work can be tedious, especially repetitive work.
Okay.
Okay, humans get bored over time when you do the same work process every day over time. And then there's a question of human error, and there's a question of availability.
Okay.
Okay, the human being tends to, it's difficult for a human being to be available 100% of the time. And that's what robotics is going to solve for us. So artificial intelligence is a problem-solving technology. All right, it's a technology that helps to bridge the gap between what needs to be done, at what pace, and then at what speed and efficiency. Okay, currently the artificial intelligence we have is still at the level of what we call artificial narrow intelligence. Okay, it's narrow because artificial intelligence algorithms or systems are working on limited memory, and they are working on learned algorithms, structured data. Okay. Now, we still have the question of big data, which is a discussion for another day, okay? And that's a large expanse of data in quadrillions that the human mind or our available systems are unable to fathom, but computers can do this almost seamlessly. Okay, so that's one need for it, and that's why we need to inculcate the systems in the things we do. So for artificial intelligence, right now, we are still at so to speak the the formative stages. Okay, it's still a narrow concept. In the future, we're going to, or in the near future, we're going to have artificial general intelligence, which is going to be generalistic. It's going to bring in computer systems that are able to use common sense,
Okay.
that are able to think,
Okay.
that are able to learn from memory, learn from structured patterns, learn from data, and use those data to make decisions. They are going to function at the level of the human mind. They are going to be capable of emotions, social intelligence. They are going to be able to read thoughts and, able to think for themselves. Then after that level, we're going to have artificial super intelligence, and that's where there's a lot of worry, because at the level of artificial super intelligence, computers are going to supersede the human being.
You know, in my introduction, I said some people, some school of thoughts are actually afraid of all of these developments.
Yes.
And you know, as a people that have a culture, a people that, you know, we always look back to our roots and listen to our elders, these elders have raised concerns over AI. They're like, this thing this young generation is doing, you know, we see a problem, and you just mentioned it. Computers having emotions. I hear that in some countries, or there are works going on that you could actually marry one of these robots, and is a concern for our elders, and you know, as a people, we have a way we do things. What's your take on this?
Okay, I think that's purely an ethical issue.
Okay.
And the thing with ethics is more or less a gray area with law. Something can be legal but not ethical.
Okay.
All right. So ethics it's a discipline, or it's a field where, if not properly handled, a lot can be left into the crack. Okay, a lot can be left missing. So ethically, we need to imbibe technology that does not destroy culture, that does not destroy social contract. All right. So, and that's where regulation comes in. Okay. As a matter of fact, to address that fear, there's a meeting in the EU, in the European Union, that's going to hold on, I think, the 18th of July, where the UK authorities and other national authorities, national governments in the European Union are coming together to, have a meeting over the risks, the potential risk involved with artificial intelligence and robotics coming up. So a lot's going to be discussed in that meeting, and part of the discussion there is to set up a regulatory body that will manage how this technology is going to, take shape in the arena. In fact, the Secretary General of one of these bodies, the European Union, Antonio Guterres, of the UN, he is quoted to have said that we need a regulatory body that is as powerful as the International Atomic Nuclear Regulatory Agency to manage this, and that's how that's the rate at which the risk is perceived. So there's a lot that needs to be done to regulate it. Okay, to regulate how this artificial intelligence, this robotics, and all of these technologies are put out there, to try to see that it does not encroach into a particular area that should be reserved purely for human interaction.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Good Morning Abuja continues after this time out. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that break. It's Good Morning Abuja. Yes, there's already a concern over people's jobs. A lot of people do not have jobs. And with the AI, what impact will it have on the job market and employment landscape? Because if you look at it, if you have a lot of computers doing certain jobs, you probably might not even have to pay like you pay human beings. Isn't this a problem also? Isn't this, don't you see it becoming a future, a challenge?
You know, in our previous discussions, we tried to highlight the fact that development is first disruptive. Development usually first destroys an existing order, and then while doing that creates a more balanced, or for lack of a better word, an improved order. So first, this technology will destroy what's on ground, and it has been doing that for the past 70 years.
So you see people losing their jobs
yes,
more because of AI?
People are already losing their jobs to artificial intelligence. Now, cloud computing, first of all, is still one of the subsets of artificial intelligence. Okay, and artificial intelligence, so to speak, it's it's so broad that it's hard for us to sit down at one point or look at it from an angle and give a circumspective definition of what it is, because it's still a developing landscape. So it's already in so very many places that we can, okay, take for example the Microsoft 365 Copilot. Okay, that has solutions for Word, Microsoft Excel, emailing, and all of these things. Okay, it's a one-point solution that, you know, takes away so many functions from people. Okay, and now people don't need to do certain things again. You plug into that system, and it's practically does the job for you more effectively. And you know, so you find that it's eliminating some of the functions that people do at work. We're talking about self-driving vehicles now. It's still in the formative stages, but these vehicles, it's a technology that allows artificial intelligence, of course, to combine data from, you know, algorithms, learn data from sensors and cameras from vehicles, and to help these vehicles drive. Taxi drivers are losing jobs now, because also we're working on, you know, experimenting taxis that can drive themselves. So these things are going to have a huge impact on the workspace. Then this also has been encouraged by a time like now, which we are referring to as the future of work already, because we have more of what we call the Gen Zs and the millennials in the workplace. Okay, in fact, in the next 10-20 years, 80% of people in the workplace are going to be Gen Zs, and these people have a peculiar way they look at work. Okay, and this set of people want to work remotely. They want to work because they were born with computers. So they see differently. All right, and I think the technology is warming up to their expectations as well. So that's one discussion. It's going to, of course, change the terrain. Lots of persons are going to lose their jobs. It's a worry, but I think that's where regulation comes in, and that's where the government needs to renegotiate what our industrial and labor laws should look like, the posture of our laws, the posture of our labor regulations, and the posture of our social investment, so to speak. Because when employers are going to need less people to work because they have better solutions through artificial intelligence, then some of the proceeds, the revenues, you know, garnered from there should be reinvested in, you know, an equitable percentage, so to speak, into a social insurance system that takes care of persons who are unable to work as a result of this kind of technology coming into the workplace.
You have said a lot, and we're just still scratching the surface. But you know how it is. Any words, any parting words just before we go on this segment on what you think people should do to fit in, or I don't know which other word to use, that's why I'm using fit in, to ensure that we're not left behind when all of this technology blooms?
Okay, it's an ecosystem. Okay, first of all, for some technologies that are, of course, obsolete now in the world scene that we are still trying to grasp, we struggle with them because we don't have the enabling environment. Okay, we don't have the enabling infrastructure to support those technologies. So take, for example, the self-driving cars. When we have them in the future, do we have roads that, you know...
Those cars will fly on.
The roads that, you know, have that level of compliance functional requirements for those things to, and then do we have other technologies? Okay, like we're still struggling with 5G, so all of those things too. Then for the human being, talking about human capital development now, we need to we need to overhaul a lot of what's currently obtainable. Okay, and we're going to start from our educational system. We're also going to go into our our manufacturing industries to see that the technologies that we procure now are going to be in compliance to what the future of these things will be like.
Okay.
We also need to make sure that our laws are ahead of this curve. Some of our laws now are becoming obsolete as a reason of these new technologies that are taking shape all over the world. So we will not have to wait until they are looking at the technology are looking into our eyes before we start crafting laws. So while these discussions are going on, roundtable discussions are going on all over the world, we should, jump into the bandwagon and see how we are able to, create an environment that, the change will not be too rigid for us. Okay, so change management, of course, which is a very important aspect of how we respond to technology, should be brought into mind. How do we change our systems? How do we change our structures to adapt to, the future of artificial intelligence? It's going to be a bright future, and I would like to leave with this parting words. The human being also is an intelligent entity, and the human being is going to evolve too. So machines are not going to leave human beings behind. The concept of artificial superintelligence is still a futuristic term, and of course I believe that the human being too will not only catch up, the human being will control the machines when the time comes.
Thank you for putting our fears, for those of us who are afraid of the AI. Thank you for putting our fears to rest.
Oh, no,
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. My guest has been Jesse Ukwe Usman, an ICT expert. This man is not just handsome, he knows a lot of things about ICT and AI and the future of it, and how we as a people can ensure that we are not left behind. Now, Good Morning Abuja will continue after this time out. Please stay with us.